people from third world countries, what's the most disgusting tradition you have? The fatter the better, at least where I'm from. I come from a part of Africa where obese women are associated with wealth, beauty, and social status. Families will force feed their daughters to obesity in hopes of marrying them off to a rich man. From a young age, I was forced to consume up to 10,000 calories of milk and food per day to gain weight rapidly. This is normal for us in Mauritania, where 1 in 4 women have no chance of escape. I longed to be sent to a normal school instead of the camp, where my first meal of the day was 2,000 calories of couscous, followed by 1,000 calories of olive oil. This was only breakfast. Lunch was a gallon of milk and, to wash it down, 1,000 calories of couscous. Dinner was olive oil until I'd hit the goal. This would last all day every day, and not once did it ever get even a tiny bit easier. If we didn't do it, we'd be punished severely. I had my fingers broken many times. I've watched some girls have their limbs snapped like twigs for vomiting, and one 6-year-old girl even lost her life due to how badly they hurt her on her first day, as if this wasn't her first day eating more than 1,000 calories. Each day I'd return home to my mother, who was super excited to marry me off, and didn't care one bit about what she was putting me through. She'd tell me all about how lucky I am to have this opportunity, and how by the time I'm 18, it would be over, as I'd be married off to a middle-aged man who would take good care of me. My mother described in detail how to be a good wife when the time comes, and told me to always be grateful for the opportunity God had given me. Life as I knew it was pain and suffering, and it was to become a whole lot worse. On my 18th birthday, I woke up to a middle-aged white man staring at me with the most disgusting grin on his face. His only words were, "You're coming home with me." My mother was crying tears of joy as she explained. To my younger sisters, this is what would happen to them also. The strange thing was, this man was from the United States, and that's where he was taking me. I thought the torture would end here, and all I'd have to do would be pleasure this guy, which for me was a massive break, but no. He wanted to continue feeding me back home in his basement, and did so for another year. He'd take me upstairs to the shower once a day, and afterwards he'd force me to play out his sick twisted fantasies, where he'd be crushed under all 250 pounds of me. He'd show me photos of women who were over 700 pounds and tell me this is what I'd look like soon. As I grew to 300, the FBI kicked down his door looking for him as part of an unrelated string of missing children. I was brought to safety, and for the first time in my life I experienced freedom. I felt terrified the next day when I woke up to a regular-sized meal, as my body anticipated pain whenever it was not force-fed. As I integrated into society, I was bullied, ridiculed and teased for my size. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was brought here because women my size were wanted even more. After explaining the situation to somebody, they told me my husband was a creep who's just into that sort of stuff. Doctors told me I'd have been dead within another year of consuming that much food daily. I was furious. My mother sold me to somebody that wanted to kill me, instead of the luxuries I was promised, and now I was one of the least desirable women available in my new country. The doctor told me I need to lose as much of that weight as possible or it may catch up to me in later life. With limited English-speaking skills, and not a whole lot else to offer, I decided I had to do what I'm best at, forcing myself to meet beauty standards no matter the cost. I figured my best bet would be to just not eat, but the doctor told me it would throw metabolism off and not do me a whole lot of favors. She said to me, "Listen, I'm not allowed to do this, but your story has touched me and I don't have it in me to lie to you." She handed me this box of pills and said they're weight loss pills that I used back in my modeling days. "It's gonna get the job done." I took it and shoved one in my mouth straight away. I couldn't believe there was a world where I could walk with ease. That night, I googled weight loss and apparently it was a really big thing in America, which is funny because us fatties would be worshipped where I'm from. I started doing exercises on YouTube every day, which was damn near impossible because of how big I was. Luckily, a lot of women seemed to have my problem, so I found a community. From their recommendation, I got a weighing scale and in the first week I lost 3 pounds. I still didn't notice that much difference, but the daily exercise made me feel good in my body for the first time. My body adjusted more to the pills, and the week after I lost 5 pounds. Losing weight on purpose was a very strange experience. In the back of my head I could hear my mama saying, "How could you have let this happen?" But reminding myself that I'm honoring my body for the first time helped me overcome this. I continued with the exercise and worked to reintegrate into American society. After 3 months I managed to lose 40 pounds. Everyone was much nicer to me as I lost weight, and I even started getting attention from the 2 Bob white boys. There was one in particular that caught my eye, and he was so different from the men my mama had told me about. He wanted to actually take care of me, not just shove as much food as possible down my throat. The pills and new lifestyle ended up changing my life so much that I even sent a thank you letter to my doctor. Edit: tons of people are asking me what the pills are called, and from fatty to fatty, I'm not going to gatekeep. The pills are Obvi Elite. They come in this pink and black bottle.